Hello students, this is the sixth part of the chapter 4. In the last presentation, I have covered till bipolar and related disorders. I hope you all have understood, and even if someone did not understand, don't worry, we will still have classes, online classes, where we can discuss it. Alright, so in this presentation, I will cover schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders, where I will also discuss what is schizophrenia and what are the symptoms of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders. So talking about schizophrenia is one of the most extreme variations of behavior, a very worse form of mental illness, and also a very severe mental disorder. Okay, and this results in total disorientation of personality. There is total disintegration of personality. And this particular disorder, schizophrenia, it has a split in the mind and is known as psychotic disorder. Psychotic refers to a person who is not in touch with reality. So somebody is asking you about your own self, you will not be able to answer because you are not in touch with your own self. You are living in a different world altogether. So that's the reason why it is regarded as a psychotic disorder. Alright. So schizophrenia, it is a descriptive term for a group of psychotic disorders in which personal, social, and occupational functioning, disturbed thought processes, strange perceptions, unusual emotional states, as well as motor abnormalities are also there. So as a whole, it is a debilitating disorder. There is complete disorientation that a person have with schizophrenia. The social and psychological cost of schizophrenia are tremendous, and it is both to patients as well as to their families and society. Now moving on to the symptoms of schizophrenia. The symptoms of schizophrenia can be grouped into three categories. Positive symptoms, that is excesses of thought, emotion and behavior. Negative symptoms, that is deficits of thought, emotion and behavior. And the third category, it is psychomotor symptoms. Positive symptoms, now you might be thinking, you might be wondering why positive? Well, there is nothing positive over here, isn't it? So it is positive because it is kind of an addition to the personality. That's why it is regarded that positive symptoms are pathological excesses or bizarre additions to a person's behavior. Something that was not there earlier. It's an add-on. Because there is certain chemical changes in the brain, that's the reason why it is handled by medication. Under positive symptoms, we have delusions, disorganized thinking and speech, heightened perception, and hallucinations and inappropriate affect are the ones most often found in schizophrenia under positive symptoms. So many people with schizophrenia, they develop delusions. Now see, positive and negative do not refer to the symptoms, benefit, or lack thereof, but rather the nature of how they affect a person with schizophrenia. So basically, positive symptoms are additions to consciousness, that is hallucinations, whereas negative symptoms are decreases in functionality. There's poverty of speech. How can we figure out the positive and negative symptoms? By the way the person is behaving in the current situation. So at present, if the person is showing some additional behaviors which the person did not show earlier, then we can say that these are the positive symptoms. And on the other hand, if the person is not behaving in a way which he or she showed earlier, okay, there is deficit, there is less functionality, okay, there is decrease in certain kind of behaviors, so there is negative, those are negative symptoms. In this slide you can see some images, and it is your task to figure out the positive and negative symptoms. There are two colors given over here, one is in red color and another is in blue color. So those images in the red division, it is the negative symptoms, and those given in the blue color, these are the positive symptoms. Okay, just look at it and try to figure out the positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia. While yes, we will be talking about it in details. Now, under positive symptoms, as I said, there is delusion. I hope you all have heard about delusion, but you all don't know what is delusion. So what is delusion? Delusion is a false belief that is firmly held on inadequate grounds. It is not affected by rational argument and has no basis in reality. So basically delusions are those firm belief, unshaken firm belief that a person holds with schizophrenia. Okay. Now under delusion we have certain kinds of delusions as well, because all delusions are not same. All right, so delusions, there are four kinds of delusions that a person with schizophrenia shows. The first is delusion of persecution. So delusions of persecution are the most common in schizophrenia. Person with schizophrenia often complains about delusions with persecution. That is, people with this delusion believe that they are being plotted against, spied on, slandered, threatened, attacked, or deliberately victimized. Okay, so in this, patients with schizophrenia often they deny to take medicines as well, because they feel that you know they are being plotted against and someone is spying on them. All these are false belief that a person holds in schizophrenia, which are actually unshaken as well. You cannot shake their false and firmly held belief. Next, there is delusions of reference. People with schizophrenia also experience delusions of reference, in which they attach special and personal meaning to the actions of others or to objects and events. So with any event or any others actions, the patients with schizophrenia they often attach a special and personal meaning. Like for instance, if there is a natural event like that of tsunami, the patient with schizophrenia will often say that the tsunami has occurred because of me, for me. It has occurred just to stop me and to spoil my day. So this is delusion of reference. Okay, so they're attaching special and personal meaning to any of the events, any object, or any of the actions of other people. It is always for them. Next, the third kind is delusions of grandeur. So there is grandiosity. So in delusions of grandeur or grandiosity, people believe themselves to be specially empowered persons. Specially empowered persons in the sense that they feel themselves, they say to other people that they are God, they are the supreme power, or they are the incarnation of God. Or there are also people who will say I'm a famous singer, people know me so well. Or in another instance they might also say that I'm the next leader of this country, I'm the next prime minister or president of this country. So that is delusion of grandiosity or grandeur. And lastly, there is delusions of control. So in delusions of control, people with schizophrenia believe their feelings, thoughts, and actions are controlled by others. Okay, so how it is done is that, for instance, there may be radio broadcasting, and through the radio someone is instructing them, someone is telling them to do certain things. So that is how it is being controlled. The thoughts, the feelings, and the actions, they feel that everything is being controlled via television or radio or any kind of remote or mobile devices like this. So these are the four kinds of delusions. First, delusion of persecution. Then there is delusion of reference, delusions of grandeur or grandiosity, and lastly, delusions of control. In this slide, you can see some of the images referring to some of the delusions. In the first image, you can see delusion of grandiosity, where the person is looking in the mirror and believing himself to be Superman. That is delusion of grandeur or grandiosity. Next, you can see delusion of persecution. Okay, where the person is feeling that someone is there to kill that person or to hit that person, where in reality there is no one. In the third picture, you can see delusion of control, where the girl is holding so many telephone receivers just because she feels that she is under control by someone who is on the other end of the line instructing her, and she is under control of the voices or person from the other end of the line. Next, you will see again delusion of persecution, where the girl is feeling like someone is spying on her, someone is following her. And lastly, there is delusion of reference. In the image, you can see delusion of reference, where the person believes that everybody is thinking about him only and is being referred by all agencies, media, and persons around him in all matters. And basically, it is of negative nature, and this may put him in conflict with the world. Okay. Next, under positive symptoms, we have formal thought disorder. So people with schizophrenia may not be able to think logically and may speak in peculiar ways. So this formal thought disorders can make communication extremely difficult. So with formal thought disorder, it includes rapidly shifting from one topic to another so that the normal structure of thinking is muddled and becomes illogical. There is loosening of associations, derailment is there basically. So for instance, if you go and ask a schizophrenic person, what is your name? The answer will be like, I was born in the year 1978. If you ask, how are you feeling today? The person might reply with saying, I will go to that particular place tomorrow. So there is derailment, and with this, of course, communication is extremely difficult. Then, people with schizophrenia might also engage in inventing new words or phrases, which is known as neologisms or neologisms. Basically, they will invent a whole new word which you have never heard of, and with a very new word you will not understand also. As a result, communication again it will be difficult. And then there is persistent and inappropriate repetition of the same thoughts, that is perseveration. So if the person is saying one thing, he or she will keep on repeating the same thought. Okay, now what happens over here? Thoughts such as, you know the person will kill me, the person will kill me, who person, what person, you will not understand, but then the person will repeatedly keep on saying the same thoughts again and again. Getting the point? So here in the slide on the right hand side you can see a small image where certain things are written over here. If you go on and check closely, you will not understand a single thing because there it is not logically prepared. Logically written things are easy to understand, but something which is illogical you will not be able to understand. So uh, this is an extract from a person with schizophrenia. Okay. Next, we have hallucination under positive symptoms. So people with schizophrenia may have hallucinations. What is hallucination? Hallucinations are perceptions that occur in the absence of certain external stimuli. So the external stimuli is absent, but the person still have perception and sensations that there is something, but in reality there is nothing. So there is no logical explanation again over here. So with hallucinations, we have some of the common hallucinations like auditory hallucinations are the most common in schizophrenia. Auditory, that is, patients hear sounds or voices that speak words, phrases, and sentences directly to the patient. That is second person hallucination. That means someone is directly talking to him or her, the person, but in reality there is no one. But the person can hear sounds and voices, or talk to one another referring to the patient as she or he. That is third person hallucination. So with auditory hallucination, we have second person hallucination and third person hallucination. In second person hallucination, there are sounds or voices that a patient hear that speak words and phrases and sentences directly to the patient. Okay. And in third person hallucination, for instance, there might be two people talking about the person. Okay. Then there are also other hallucinations that involve other senses. So basically, when we are saying hallucinations as perception, so we are involving all the five senses. Okay, the senses are involved in hallucinations because of the perceptual thing. So the other senses that are affected in in schizophrenia is tactile hallucination. That is forms of tingling and burning sensation is there. The person with schizophrenia might feel a burning or tingling sensation. Okay, but in reality there is nothing. There is only the perception of, tingling or some kind of burning sensation. Then there is somatic hallucination. That is something happening inside the body. Somatic, soma, bodily sensation. Hallucination is there, that a snake is crawling inside one's stomach, or an insect is just moving inside the skin. Okay, or uh, there is something inside the body. So all these are somatic hallucinations. Then there is visual hallucinations, which is vague perceptions of color or distinct visions of people or objects. The person might see someone or see certain colors. Okay, but in reality there might be no one present, but only the person with hallucination with schizophrenia might have a vision of someone or somebody or a color. Okay, so that is visual hallucination. Then there is gustatory hallucination, that is food or drink taste strange. So with gustatory hallucinations, person with schizophrenia may feel that the taste of the food is different. Why it is different? Then it will refer to the delusion. Okay, with hallucination there might be delusion also with the gustatory hallucination, because the moment the person thinks that the food and drink is tasting different, that means the person might feel that somebody has given something in the food, somebody wants to kill me, so the person has uh, poisoned my food. So that's also one of the reason why people with schizophrenia or this severe mental disorder do not take medicines. Getting the point? And then there is olfactory hallucinations as well. Olfactory, that is smell of poison or smoke. Okay. Along with delusions, formal thought disorders, and hallucinations, there is inappropriate affect. So people with schizophrenia also show inappropriate affect, that is emotions that are unsuited to the situation. Situations in which there is no need to laugh out loud, but people with schizophrenia might laugh out loud at that particular situation where they are present. Likewise, in situations where there is a very jolly moment, the schizophrenic might go over there and show certain abnormal kind of behavior which is not suited to that situation. They will show certain kind of emotions which might be rude, or maybe some kind of aggressive thing. Okay, aggressive emotion might also they show over there, which is again not suitable to the particular situation. All right, So with this, in this presentation, I have covered till positive symptoms only. In the next presentation, I will be covering negative symptoms and so forth. Alright, please go through the presentation once again and try to understand schizophrenia and the symptoms of it.